We as humans often allow the stresses of life to become overwhelming and lose focus of the things that truly matter. Our family of three, with God leading the way, has set off on a journey to find forever serenity. Join us on this journey like no other.
What's up, guys? Today we're talking top 15 must-haves for RVing. Some of these are for full-timers, some of these are for any-timers, but these are definitely things that you need to have in your box. Alright guys, so I go a little bit overboard on this one. Y'all don't have to have nearly as many tools as I do, but you definitely have to have the basics, because there's always stuff to work on. A couple of the main things that I feel like you really need to have, and the things that I use all the time. One, the level, because we don't have auto level or anything like that, so I use that level every time we park and set up, just to make sure that we're as level as possible. Another one, and this thing's awesome, I really love this little socket set here. Now granted, if you're trying to really get some torque on something, or a bolt that's really stuck, that's not going to be enough to do it. I have a whole large socket set for that issue, but I use that a lot. Then inside my toolbox, I've just got miscellaneous screws and different camper and trailer parts and seals, so that if we ever get a leak or anything like that, I can fix it real quick and not have to wait on a part. The other thing I would say that you really want to have, it doesn't necessarily have to be cordless. I prefer cordless, and why would you want to have a cord dragging around behind you? But just some kind of a cordless drill with a bit for every occasion, because these travel trailers sometimes have screws in them where I think they just grab them out of a bucket, and that bucket doesn't have the same screw in it twice, or at least that's been my experience. Then another thing, tape measure, these pliers, adjustable pliers, channel lock pliers, whichever one you want to call them. I keep a couple of sets of those, just because you get that little drip of a leak on your hose. You can always just tighten it down a little bit tighter with those clamps, and lots of times that will alleviate that leak for you. So like I said, don't have to go as crazy as me. I like tools, so I have a bunch of them. But you know, just have the basics covered.
Planning on moving into an RV? Throw out all of your fine china. You don't need it anymore. Instead, get yourself some beautiful plastic dishes. We have plastic bowls, plastic plates, plastic cups. Whenever you're moving, you don't want things that are breakable, because they're going to break. We also have learned, after having to wash dishes in a really small sink, that another great thing to have is paper plates. They are pretty amazing too. Can't go wrong with those. Get rid of all of the nice stuff, get rid of all of the glass stuff, and get you some beautiful 50-cent Walmart plates. They even match.
Alright guys, next up is leveling blocks. These are really cool. This is a cool set that we bought at Walmart, but you can get them on Amazon too, so you can get them delivered to you next day rather than having to run into town. But I'll go through and I'll show you how these work and everything exactly. But prime example as to why you might want some leveling blocks in your storage compartment. For example, our site here slopes about 1.5 inches to one side, so you know, you don't want to be trying to level your trailer with your support jacks. Those are strictly for support. I learned that the hard way. I ended up blowing one up because I was trying to level the trailer with it. But these are really cool. They're really easy to stow. They've got this cool little handle. You just untwist that handle, pull that out, and then you got a whole bunch of sets here. Now, the way I did ours, I just put one down and pulled the tires up on the one, because I didn't feel like doing the whole linking them together and everything. But the neat thing about these is, if you were one of those kids that really liked Legos growing up, and you could build the dinosaur and the castle and all of that, I always just built like a little car that was just really just a square with some wheels underneath it. But even I can do these. They just link together like that. You put another one on this side, and they link together like that. That almost showed my struggle with Legos right there. But real easy, real simple. And then like I said, when you're done, boom, boom, boom. This goes right through the middle. You just tighten it down like a screw. And bam, you got a little carrying handle to go with them.
So another thing, and it's not necessarily a must-have, but it's something that's really nice to have when you're traveling, you have your rainy days, you're stuck inside, is an Amazon Fire Stick. All you do is plug it into a TV. It does not have to be a smart TV. This makes it that way. And then you can get Netflix, Amazon Prime, all kinds of different apps. You can watch movies with the family while you're stuck inside. You can get this obviously on Amazon, and it's really not that expensive. So check it out.
All right, guys, let's talk about hose, your water hose. So I've seen a lot of videos on people talking about the collapsible hoses, the unkinkable hoses. Most people are using those just for like their flush hoses and for just rinsing off shoes and stuff outside, because for the most part those flex hoses aren't drinking water approved. This one here, made by Zero G, this one is drinking water approved, and you can get this one on Amazon also. Same principle, unkinkable. You just wad it up, and like for me, I throw it in the back of my Tough Box in the truck, where you can throw that literally anywhere. This is a 50-foot hose, which was definitely needed for ours because our water supply is at the front of our site, and our city water connection's all the way at the back of our site, or of our trailer. But really nice hose. I really like this hose. There were people saying that they had issues with it crushing and pinhole leaks. I've drugged this thing all over the site. I've crumbled it up. I've actually got it tied in a knot once, so not necessarily unkinkable when it's like this. You can tie it in a knot still. But real good hose. I want to say we paid like $40 for this hose, but collapses, really easy to store, doesn't take up a lot of space. Definitely a must-have.
Another thing that made the must-have list is storage bins. There are so many different kinds. Just use the space that you have and make the most of it. So we have, yep, got your toys. We have storage bins for his toys. We have ones that have lids on them and we just stack them up. I have the photo boxes for storage for all of my teaching stuff. Storage for our silverware. Storage for our clothes. One of my favorites, storage up here. We keep changing out what we're putting in there, but right now, these are really cool. We got these from Walmart, and they were actually pretty cheap. And they make it look a lot nicer, and they give you storage.
All right, guys, next on the list, you've really got to hate those nights when it's really, really cold outside, and all of a sudden you run out of propane. One, because you just didn't realize you were that low on propane, or two, because you didn't have gauges on your propane tanks. So what I've done to alleviate that issue and to kind of keep a better eye on my propane levels, I bought these hoses on Amazon right here. These right here, I wish they had numbers on them, but it tells you, you know, you've got gas, low gas, yeah, you're gonna run out of heat. But these, and the other thing I like about these are braided steel lines, so they're not the typical standard rubber hoses, which was the original reason I replaced these. The crimps on the rubber hoses started leaking, and you know, nobody likes a leaky hose. But anyhow, really good idea, definitely a must-have. You gotta know how much propane you have, guys. You got your ears on back there, Rubber Ducky? Come back.
I got you loud and clear, Snowman. Come on back.
All right, guys. If you want to feel like you're living the cool lifestyle and not just use your phones for your walkie-talkies, you can get these cool little Cobra walkie-talkies on Amazon. This keeps you from yelling back and forth at each other when you can't get the trailer straight in the sight. It doesn't annoy your neighbors, and it's just real easy. We can talk to each other all day long on these things. Definitely a must-have. All right, guys, let's talk about getting you that high-quality H2O. Got to have a water filter. You can pick these up on Amazon. I think you get a 2-pack of them for under 20 bucks. Also, this wasn't in the the original lineup of top 15 things. So we're going to say it's just one unit here, but your pressure regulator, you got to have one of those because you never know what's coming out of that water head right there. Real easy to connect. Just put your pressure regulator into the top there. It's got an arrow so you can't put it on backwards. Trust me, I tried. Then you just thread it right onto your water supply there. And those are some long threads. Just like that. Put your hose into this end. Like I said, arrow, follow the flow. Definitely a must-have, guys.
This right here is my favorite thing that we have. It is my #1 must-have for living in an RV. We heard all of the horror stories about living in an RV and cooking with the oven and how it burns everything. So I am so happy that we got this for Christmas from my mommy. It does everything. If you do not own one, you need to. If you do not live in an RV, you still need one. It can do everything. The other night, I cooked a cheesecake in here. A cheesecake! So there is all kinds of stuff you can do with it. I have yet to find anything that I need the oven for, so it has yet to be turned on. Get one.
Alright guys, next on the list, this is a refrigerator. It's not just a storage box. So you got to make sure that the temperature is right in it and that you're not too hot, not too cold, because frozen eggs don't break real easily. Learned that the hard way. So what do we got? Fridge thermometers. We've got one of these that we keep in the refrigerator, one that we keep in the freezer. These are just real cheap ones that you can get on Amazon. You can go as fancy as you want. You can get ones that actually have a thermometer on the inside and one that is a magnet that sticks to the outside of your fridge, so you don't even have to open it to see how cold it is in your refrigerator.
Traveling with a baby. I was trying to decide how we were going to do it high chair wise. High chairs, even the ones that collapse, are really big and they take up a lot of room that we do not have. So we found this really cool seat that attaches to a chair, and we have stools instead of chairs, and it just attached underneath. And it's really sturdy. He's not going anywhere. It has this little tray that he's not going to like him moving because his food's going, that you can open. He's got his little seatbelt that it's not on because he likes playing with the straps. But it's really convenient. It stays on the stool, so it's not in the way. It gets pushed under the table.
Baby, sometimes it's cold outside. And not always can you rely on your propane. Sometimes it goes out. And also, you just don't want to use your propane up that quick. We had a night the other night where it got down to 14 degrees. That had drained a propane tank if we were just using the furnace. So what we do to counterbalance or balance, however you want to look at it, we've got this little space heater down here. This is a cool touch space heater here, which is really important with little dude. This thing here, I can put my hands all over it. It's set on 74 right now. I can put my hands right there where the heat comes out and it's not going to burn me. Really puts out some heat. Really helps with your propane usage. So that's definitely a must-have because you don't want to just be buying propane all the time. And when electricity is free, I'm so glad we got that alert in the video. That's awesome. Don't text while I'm making videos, people. Come on. But anyhow, the other part of that you saw in that shot too, the little dehumidifier up on top of there. That's important for when you're in cold climate areas, and also when you're in hot climate areas and you're having to run the air conditioner all the time. You're going to get some condensation, people. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be a nasty, wet mess, and it's going to be down in the crevices of your windows. Kind of battle that. We've got that little dehumidifier. Now, a bigger one would be much better, and it would do so much more. But we're in a little 29-foot trailer. That right there knocks the condensation down off the windows, really helps keep that mold from building up in the tracks that you got to get in there and you got to scrub with the toothbrush like on Full Metal Jacket. But hey, you got to have both of those if you're going to be living in a trailer all the time.
And the last thing on our list is personal items. And when I say that, I don't mean your toothbrush and your deodorant. I mean things that make it feel like home. Just because you had to get rid of most of your belongings doesn't mean that it's not supposed to feel like home. So think about what makes you happy, what makes it you, and make sure you put that into your travel trailer. For us, we have things like our orchid that did not die finally. We finally figured out how to make it live, and it lives even better in the travel trailer. Painted mason jars, our air plants, throw pillows, our pictures. Just think of what it is that makes it feel like home to you and put it in your trailer. It will make such a difference.
Alright guys, so that was our top 15 must-haves when living in an RV. Hope y'all saw something that you don't have that you feel like you need to go out and get. If you do need to go out and get it, check the description below for links to get all the stuff that you saw today. And also, while you're doing that, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you get notifications when we post new videos. And hey, share us with your friends.